Hello, Intro to Algebra students. We're taking a look at Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Part 1, and we're going to start with the vocabulary startup. So you should have your book open to page 277. So on page 277, we're continuing with the coordinate plane. So let's just review some of that vocabulary. First of all, of course, the coordinate plane is that combination between the x-axis and y-axis. So we want to label our x-axis. And we have our vertical axis, which is our y-axis. And those axes divide the graph into quadrants, or four quadrants, and we number them from the upper right. So that quadrant 1 is in the upper right, and then quadrant 2, we use Roman numerals, and then quadrant 3 in the lower left, and then the lower right, quadrant 4. The center point in the coordinate plane is called the origin. And when we are labeling our ordered pairs, we want the x or the across first, and then the y or the vertical second. And so we want to name this ordered pair with the dot there. And because we have to go across to the left, that's the negative x's, so that's -4, and then up, that's +3. So just looking at how we're reviewing the process of naming. And in the ordered pair, -5, -7, we'd like for you to identify the x coordinate. So you've got to decide which one is the x coordinate. And the x coordinate in the ordered pair -5, -7 is -5, as that comes first. So as we continue and looking at relations, we know that relations can be shown in ordered pairs, tables, and graphs. So we see a list of ordered pairs here on page 278 that matches a table, which also matches a graph. And then we have some new vocabulary listed, and that is the domain and the range. So looking at that, we have to see domain and range. So a relation is any set of ordered pairs, and a relation can be represented as a table and as a graph. The domain of the relation is the set of x coordinates, so domain is your x coordinates, and the range is the y coordinates. So domain x's, range y's. So in the first example that's completed for us, the question is that we're supposed to express the relation, and it gives us 4 ordered pairs there, as a table and a graph, and then state the domain and range. And so you can see they place the ordered pairs in a table with the x coordinates first and the y coordinates in the second column. That's what you will be asked to do. And then you're graphing the ordered pairs on a coordinate plane. The domain is your x values, and the range is the y values. So as a practice, we're going to do the first got it, and we're expressing the relation, and we have 4 ordered pairs there as a table and a graph. We want to list the x values in the first column and the y values in the second. Of course, we want to make sure that they stay coordinated. So for the first x, we had -5, and that goes with the y value 2. And then 3, -1, 6, 2, and 1, 7. So when we're listing it in the table, it really just is the same thing as listing the ordered pairs. We just want to make sure that they're then in order. Then we go over to the graph and graph those. So we're going to graph the ordered pair -5, 2. So you do want to check the scale on the graph. This is counting by 2s, so you want to watch that. So our -5 is, we're going to go halfway past, or we're going to go past -4, half a block, and then up to 2, and so that would be our point there. And then we're going to go +3, 1, so we've popped to the right 3, and then down 1, of course that's only half a block. And then we have 6, 2, so we're going across 2, 4, 6, and then up 2, and the ordered pair 1, 7, so half a block to the right, and then 2, 4, 6, and half a block up 7. So hopefully you're able to get those dots in the correct places. And then we're asked to list the domain and range. And so we want to list the domain. Typically we list the domain with a capital D, and then we make our fancy little set braces. And remember that the domain values are just your X values. So we're going to list them. Now typically we want the domain listed in order from least to greatest. And they were, so we're going to say -5, and then the next lowest value is 1, and then the next lowest value is 3, and then 6. And then we close our fancy set braces. And then for range, we just want an R to show that that's the range. And again, we do our fancy little set braces. And we want the range in order from least to greatest. And the lowest range value is -1. And then the next value would be 2. Now, 2 is there more than once, but when we're listing domain and range, we don't repeat. And then the next value in the range would be 7. And we close our set braces. Let me know if you have any questions.